Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tooned-In. I'm your host, Shawn Geekory, where we bring you examples of absurd behavior from around the world, but only if we can make it sound more ridiculous. Before we get started, sad news from the Tooned-In staff room today as James Woodall left the studio backwards while holding up both his middle fingers. James was the operator of the Cryon Hego graphics overlay machine we here at Tooned-In use to display the pictures on my left. James claims he was disgusted with how I looked at his wife at the Christmas party, and was even more disturbed by what I did with his daughter last Tuesday. After many heated words in the writer's room, James claims I'm lucky to be alive and requested my presence in the parking lot after the show. All of us here at Tooned-In wish James and his daughter Stephanie all the best in the future. Since no one here at Tooned-In knows how to use a Cryon Hego graphics overlay machine, we've locked all the doors and started filming without the boxes. The 6 people that watch this ridiculous collection of homemade cartoon nonsense are going to be pissed. Our top stories. Zeta's Vault, online retailer of all things customized, got quite a shock this week when a customer demanded a refund on their order of a dozen masks because they were only sent 12. IndianExpress.com reported that the disgruntled customer was unsatisfied with the number of masks their order contained because the customer was under the impression that the order was placed for a dub-zen. The client went on to say in an email, quote, "I've never heard it being listed as 12. I swear it was pronounced dub-zen, like dub, 20, whatever though," end quote. To save over 30s from needing to look this up, dub is slang street dealers use to describe a $20 bag of cannabis. Before Tooned-In could even tweet it out, Zeta's Vault created a dub-zen promo code that gets you 20% off your purchases throughout the store. Our hats go off to your marketing team for getting hip with the urban culture. This is the part of the show management wants me to sit pretty and beg you to subscribe, which I protested against since we started writing this phenomenal waste of pixels. However, since my wife is the executive producer and directly in charge of the amount of happy time I get, if you like the content, whack that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss a thing from your Tooned-In team. God, I feel like a purse dog.
Love you.
Well, it's finally here, folks. Flatulating for dollars is now a thing. FoxBusiness.com reported last week that a 36-year-old film director had been recording he and his friends passing gas since the beginning of the COVID lockdown. The simple thought of someone squatting over a microphone to unleash their latest air biscuit has us shuddering. But even more disturbing is the reason behind this windy adventure. Alex Ramirez Mollis has been selling the unsanitary recordings online for a song. He has been capitalizing on the new blockchain technology called NFT, or non-fungible tokens. If you need a more thorough understanding of what NFTs are, the Tooned-In team is the last place you'd want to go. Mr. Ramirez felt the world's rush to NFTs was absurd, and as a way of protesting against the crazy idea, he decided he would crap all over it. Alex started binding NFT tokens to the Rippin' soundtracks and instantly redefined the word vaporware. We here at the station are morbidly curious about how the revenue is distributed throughout Alex's team, but we're guessing it's likely a smelt-it-dealt-it situation. Pete Ricketts, governor of Nebraska, demonstrated the definition of grandstanding last week when he spoke the phrase, "If you legalize marijuana, you're going to kill your kids." A WOWT.com News 6 report goes on to state that Ricketts likened cannabis to that of other Schedule I narcotics, such as LSD, heroin, and ecstasy. Perhaps codeine, oxycontin, and fentanyl were just not big enough problems on this day. The governor spoke of surveys in Colorado indicating elevated marijuana use rates in students between grades 8 and 12. Numbers the governor felt were alarming, probably because they didn't collect these statistics back in the 70s. The Tooned-In team thinks that trying to collect information on narcotics use in a state, which has a decades-long reputation of throwing people in jail for even the smallest cannabis offense, is likely to produce skewed mathematical results. At least Colorado knows what the hell they're dealing with. A simple Google search revealed that the state of Nebraska's #1 cause of death is actually heart disease. According to the CDC, the drug overdose rates in Nebraska are 7.4% per 100,000 people. If we compare that to the firearms death rate of 9.0 per 100,000, with cannabis not even making it on the board, we here at the station think the governor's office could use a bit of a math lesson in who's going to die first. This grandiose approach the governor's office has taken to vilify a drug they don't fully understand is going to backfire in this administration like a turbo Subaru. Not only was Governor Ricketts taking a hard stand on cannabis use, it seems that he was busy attempting to win the Worst Neighbor Award. He declared that every Saturday is Meat on the Menu Day, in direct response to Colorado's Veggie Day called Meat Out Day. Meat Out Day is a movement Colorado residents were popularizing as a way of promoting a better balanced diet and reduced carbon emissions. Tooned-In News reached out through Twitter to Governor Ricketts, but all we heard in response were crickets. Always remember, ladies and gentlemen, please don't get your news from a cartoon. Be sure to check out the very thorough report by WOWT.com reporter Gina Dvorak. Get the link in the show notes. What do you think, folks? Is Governor Ricketts a hero, a bad neighbor, or does he just hate hippies? Let us know in the comments below. Well, that's all the time we have for today, folks. From everyone here at the Tooned-In News team, I'm Shawn Geekory. Thanks for watching.
This has been another Fall Down Rickety production by Squarebox Cube Media.